Hello and welcome to Realise, the TV and movie-based podcast from In Dreams Club. My name is Chris and I'm joined today by Andrew.
Hiya, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Excellent. Today, we're going to do... Oh, this is obviously our first podcast. We're going to do something a little bit different to how we would normally go ahead with this. Essentially, the idea of this podcast is we are going to look back at some movies, some series, or just one-off movies that we are interested in. And we're going to look at seeing what's good about them, what's bad about them, and why they are so well known. What we thought we'd do for our very first ever podcast for Realise is to do something a little bit different. Now, at the end of this coming week, the 14th of April, 2019, something's happening in the world of TV.
What is it?
What is happening? The final season of Game of Thrones begins.
So this is the end of Game of Thrones. No more from here on out.
There will be no more Game of Well, no, because
there'll be tons of side spin-off shows.
Yeah, they'll do a big prequel right there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the final ever season of Game of Thrones. It's very exciting. We've had 7 seasons before that. And so what we're going to do, we're just going to talk a little bit about maybe predictions for the coming season, things that we're looking forward to, stuff that we hope the series includes, and stuff that, and maybe some things we hope it doesn't do, potentially as well.
The post-credits kind of MCU crossover that's going to be happening.
Yeah, I've heard isn't it? So Game of Thrones and Men in Black is...
Oh, is that... So Men in Black,
Men in Black
not
and
MCU.
Game of Thrones, the future crossover. Basically, what I'd like to do is, the big thing on everyone's lips at the moment with Game of Thrones before season 8 starts is... Who's gonna be on the Iron Throne at the end? So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna basically go through the major characters that are left, and we're gonna discuss if we think they are going to survive by the time the final episode finishes. Now, am I right? It's six episodes?
6 episodes. I think each one this time, instead of being the standard hour with them maybe the last episode being a bit longer, these are kind of an hour and a half. I think some of them up to 2 hours. I believe.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Really?
I think episodes...
They're definitely longer, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're a bit longer, but I think the longest ones are like 80 minutes. I think
sure they're longer. Maybe not. Maybe you're right. You're probably right.
You could look that up, and I'll introduce how this is going to work. So obviously there's going to be 6 episodes left. By the end of episode 6, well, we could have a new king or a queen.
True.
Or a Khaleesi on the Iron Throne of Westeros, or will anyone be left alive? That's one theory that's abounding. Could it be just a desolation at the end of this?
Everyone's gone.
Everyone's gone. The Night King, maybe he's just chilling out on the Iron Throne with his 3 ice dragons. Just to quickly say, if you have not caught up on Game of Thrones, if you are thinking about, maybe this Game of Thrones sounds good, I might start watching it. If you're not up to date with the end of season 7 of Game of Thrones, please stop.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
We're going to spoil. In fact, we may have already spoiled a couple of things, but we are going to absolutely spoil everything that has happened so far in Game of Thrones.
Just a side note.
Go on.
I will concede that I was completely wrong.
Were you wrong?
In what I said? It was 2 episodes. So rumor has it 2 episodes are 60 minutes, so the standard length, and then 4 are about 80 minutes long.
Okay, I was wrong as well, and I thought it was just the last 2 that were longer.
No.
So I'll tell you just quickly before we actually go through our sort of what we're calling our Game of Thrones death watch. Is one thing that I'm really looking forward to. I've tried to not. Well, no, actually, it's not true at all. I try to find out anything I can before something comes out. But they've recorded the longest ever battle. So this battle will be the longest ever. I think the previous one may have been Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
In the 2 towers, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
2 towers.
Not the Twin Towers.
No, that's different. The Battle of Winterfell is apparently what... I don't know if that's going to be the name of the episode or if that's just what they're calling it, the Battle of Winterfell. Is supposed to go on for over 40 minutes of an episode. So
Excellent.
if we're looking, that's maybe a longer one, but that's half of an 80-minute episode just based on this battle. Are you looking forward to that?
I am. I like that. I love those kind of spectacle moments and stuff. And I think it's what Game of Thrones does so well is when it does just revel in being utterly ridiculous and over the top.
Yeah.
So having half an episode or maybe even 2/3 of an episode dedicated to just one massive battle, I can't wait. I think it's gonna be great.
I think for me, like some of the, and again, final spoiler warning. Please don't, please don't keep listening. Some of the best moments for me when I think back at Game of Thrones so far, Hard Home, that epic moment, that huge battle, and then the end when the Night King just raises everyone from the dead and he stares Jon Snow down. The Battle of Blackwater, absolutely incredible.
Which was the longest battle I think in it up until that point, wasn't it? I think up until.
Well, I think the last one, say the Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
I think that's
the Battle of the Bastards.
The Blackwater's the end of season 2.
Yeah.
The Battle of the Bastards is incredible.
Yeah.
And those are 3 huge epic battle scenes. Obviously there are some great moments as well. The end of season 1 with Ned. The Red Wedding, obviously, great moments. But those big battles really are things where Game of Thrones excels. So that's something I'm really looking for. I'm looking at that, just the idea that there's going to be a huge battle scene. And the fact that it's at Winterfell, I think, because obviously, spoilers again, end of season 7, the wall came down.
Yeah.
Like Pink Floyd.
Indeed.
They, all the White Walkers are bursting through the north. The first place they're going to come upon is Winterfell. That's the furthest north of the main houses,
which we've seen hinted at in the trailers so far. We've seen kind of bits and bobs of people looking like they're ready to engage in a battle at Winterfell. So I'm hoping we kind of move along quickly into that.
I think that might be like episode 1 or 2. I think that might be super early.
Yeah. I think that'd be great. I don't want it to labour on the idea of that because there's so much that needs to happen that if that's over the course of several episodes, I then worry about the rest of them. Yeah.
Okay, well, just quickly before we go into our Death Watch again, let's talk about some of the things that we're maybe a bit apprehensive about for this season. Because I know for me, for example, it's been an epic story up to this point. We've had 7 seasons of, I think mostly really good in terms of quality. I think we kind of agree to an extent that recently, since it's gone off the books, sometimes the dialogue, I think, between characters has seemed a little bit less realistic in terms of what we used to in the earlier seasons.
It just gets a bit clunkier feeling people's kind of, I don't want to say motivations and stuff like that, but they as characters just seem a bit more wooden and written in instead of these really interesting, deep, colourful characters.
I think, like, for example, Tyrion, especially in season 7, almost became a little bit of a caricature of who he really was. And that came, especially when they went back to King's Landing. So I think that's something that I hope they can improve on for this last season. I think they will, because it's all coming to a head. Or at least I think they'll get away with it because there's going to be so many resolutions.
Well, that's a point which I think we've spoken about previously, and it's something which I feel quite strongly with, is that Game of Thrones revels in the epic, dramatic moments. I think it's where it does its best. I think, but that's really been highlighted in the last couple of seasons as it's got off the books, as these characters, in our opinion, have got a little bit more stilted and less kind of colourful. The epic battles and kind of quote cool moments are what it still does so well and so successful. So this season is naturally going to be chock-a-block full of those. I would be surprised if we had an episode where something dramatic doesn't happen, considering there's only 6 episodes. So hopefully there will be something to tag along with.
I think we're going to get, how traditionally it's sort of episode 9, isn't it? Each season there's a big. Because I think what happened to Ned season 1 was episode 9. The Red Wedding was episode 9. Blackwater was 9 as well. So I think we'll get that sort of moment pretty much every episode. There's going to be something huge. I think what's going to be this is one, before we go into actual predictions, one of my big predictions for this season is someone huge is dying episode 1. And maybe not even at the end of that episode. So
that links quite nicely actually onto one of my points of I suppose worry almost maybe, is that at least in my opinion, in the last few seasons, so what was so good about it Game of Thrones initially was that you had these characters that were brought in, you grew emotionally attached to, but at any given moment they could die, and it kept it really, really on edge and fresh feeling. However, up until this season, I feel like you have this cast of like 10 or so characters who cannot die at this point. They are effectively invincible.
Yeah.
The show hasn't taken any risks in killing off major characters which have huge ramifications throughout the world, at least as much anymore. It felt dangerous before. Now it feels quite safe, and that's why I'm hoping this up and coming season, as you say, hopefully like in the first episode, some major character you thought was an absolute guarantee for making it through just suddenly gets killed off, obviously in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
But it will actually probably make it even more impactful because of the fact that we've had so many seasons of them being safe. Maybe it was their intention the whole way along and it's some perfect play. But I would love to see that happen. Yeah.
So my only other worry really is a lot of I've very recently just watched season 1 again.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the best characters in that, obviously Littlefinger, his story's done now.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at Varys, you look at Tyrion, you look at Davos isn't obviously season 1, but comes into it season 2. A lot of these characters are great because they're the ones who are behind the scenes, sort of whispering in ears, putting the plot along, moving the plot along.
Yeah.
And actually being the person that your main character can talk to and can confide in. And I just worry about their role in this season because obviously we're coming to the resolutions, we're coming to the sort of ending where there's going to be there's going to be huge battles, there's going to be this epic moments, but is there going to be that cool moment for Tyrion? Is there going to be a cool moment for Varys? Like Varys, as we're going to talk about in a few minutes, I don't know where his story ends because someone who's read the books as well, his story is very different right now to what is happening, to what he's doing in the books. The whole Blackfire Rebellion thing is just they're not doing at all in the show. So we'll ignore that. But I wonder what can he do? What can his vision be? Like I understand, for example, Jorah and maybe even Bronn, who are sort of secondary characters but sort of fan favourites. I understand what they're going to do this season. I think. Yeah, you understand what their big moments are going to be. But for people who aren't as action based and are more the political side, I worry they might be sort of pushed to the side a little bit.
Because we're getting to the big moments which can't be influenced or can't be changed by a secondary character.
The only character like that who I don't worry about this season, who I think is actually going to have a much bigger role than we expect potentially, is Sam. I think he's the one who...
I can see that.
I think he's the one who will actually become even more important.
He'll step up into
on.
A really important kind of story-changing character.
So anyway, what we've done then is we've gone through and we've listed as many of the major characters from Game of Thrones as we could. And what we did was we put our name next to them if we think they're going to die. That's the way around we did it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not this,
exactly.
But
so this is if they die.
And what I want to do is we did it in just that we wrote down the names of characters as they came to our heads. So the major ones are first, but we're actually going to go kind of in an opposite order, and end up with the bigger characters. So I think we may as well just talk about Varys to start with because I mentioned him earlier. So this is kind of like a bit of a betting between me and Andy, like if we think they're going to survive by the end of episode 6, the end of season 8 of Game of Thrones. When all is said and done, will this character survive? Okay. So Varys, obviously, huge character in season 1 and season 2, the early seasons when it's more based in King's Landing. Yeah. Always the one, he's got his little birds, keeping him informed of everything. Firstly, let's just say, do we think he survives?
Yes.
Yeah, I've said the same. I think he survives, but that's mainly because, for me, I don't know what the situation. How does he die?
That's the thing. I don't know how you can make it a punctual thing other than Varys is dead. Like because of the last few seasons, I'm not sure he's built up enough to then make it be something which is a bullet point, like a big moment actually.
Yeah.
He hasn't been. I hesitate to say important enough, but I don't know if he's done enough recently to warrant a big exclamation mark of Varys is dead. We didn't expect that.
Yeah, like if he dies, it'd be kind of a good moment, but he's not been super relevant for a long time, so it's not going to be that big moment. If he does die, if he does die, if we're wrong and he does die, I think it's going to be one of those moments of.
Do you mean a sacrifice?
No, I don't mean a sacrifice. I mean, you know how the Sept of Baelor, when Marjorie and all these largish characters were killed off at once. Yeah. I think it might be that kind of situation where
he's part of a group of people who are all go down. Yeah.
So that's the thing. We'll do these. We'll go through these probably quite a bit quicker. But Varys, I think it's a shame, having just rewatched season 1, because he was such a great character in that. It's a shame to him that he's not as big anymore.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and I'm gonna skip around in the list, by the way.
Sure.
To go with lower, like sort of lesser important characters. Let's go with Gilly. Okay, so obviously she's got a baby. She's with Sam in Old Town, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Where the big library where he's working. What do you think?
Again, I think she survives.
Yeah, I think she survives as well. There may be a situation where she dies and Sam is left with the kid or whatever. But
yeah, that point I feel a bit torn on. If she was to die, again, we have no idea what happens, but my gut feeling would be that it's done as like a bit of a gut punch type thing, and it's just for the shock value of it, which I think Game of Thrones has often fell foul of in terms of just taking it for a shock moment, just for the sake of it, whereas instead of actually having something meaningful happen, which I'm hoping then in this series, again, because we're tiring everything, this is the end of everything, hopefully everything will have a meaning. But I feel like if you were to kill Gilly based on what she's been so far, it's only done to toy with your emotions.
And I think the baby might have some importance there on, but I want to talk about a little theory.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do a couple of theories.
That might bring that back.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done Gilly. I guess we'll talk about Sam as well because they're together. Yeah. I think Sam survives.
Again,
100%.
Agree. Sam survives.
I think he's gonna, as I said earlier, I think he's gonna grow in importance in the rest of the season.
Which is it's set up perfectly to do that based on him being out away from everything, understanding everything, and now he can come back and actually be back in the fold.
Okay, so this next one is Tormund, so one of the wildling, the main wildling.
Yeah.
He was actually on the wall at the end of season 7.
Yes.
Okay, so it's kind of not. We think there may be some confirmation this somewhere, but we think he's probably going to survive. We've not seen him die.
The wall are we talking about? Just the attack on the wall.
Yeah, he was there at the end when the dragon blows it all down. I've said I think he dies.
Yes. And I don't think he does.
You don't think he does?
But mine's linked to someone else, to another character as to why I don't think he dies.
Okay.
Because I think he gets it on with
Brienne.
Brienne, yeah.
We'll talk about Brienne next then.
Yeah, okay. So I think they become a thing, and that's why I don't think he dies, because I think they will ride off into the sunset.
No. No, okay. Okay. So yeah, I think he might die, or I think he may just be dead.
That would be.
It'd be kind of disappointing.
Yeah. Who else is at the wall of significance? Is there anyone?
I don't think there was anyone else of major significance. There may having said that, he may have been there with like Gendry, perhaps.
Okay.
Who we've not put on this list, but I don't feel. I can't really call that. I don't think he'll survive.
No.
I think he could do.
No,
so he's Robert Baratheon's bastard, isn't he? I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about Brienne then, because obviously you think your theory is that her and Tormund get it on.
Yeah, I think they survive. They ride off into sunset in love. It's going to be beautiful and romantic.
No, well, I think Brienne survives. I think you're right, but her story, her romance is not with Tormund.
Who's it with?
We'll come there.
We'll come to. Okay.
Yeah, I think Brienne survives. I think she's a really good character, and actually, I think although she wasn't given too much to do after the really cool bit with her fight with the Hound, I think she'll play a bigger part this last season, and I actually think she's been. I really didn't like reading her parts in the book. If you know the books well, her fate at the moment is kind of uncertain, but she has a much better storyline in the book, and the show's kind of let her down a little bit.
Okay. Out of full disclosure, I haven't read the books. However, obviously I know.
So she's linked in with the Lady Stoneheart character, which is is Catelyn Stark come back to life, zombie weird stuff. Yeah. Okay. So we just talked about Brienne. Let's move to. Okay, let's talk about Grey Worm and
Yeah.
Missandei.
Yes. Okay. So
so
I'm saying Missandei dies,
You're saying Missandei dies. I'm saying she survives. I'm saying Grey Worm dies.
and I'm saying he survives.
Okay, so we're seeing the opposite with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
I think they. I think she survives because she's too perfect.
Right.
I don't they'll kill her because she's too perfect a character. I think he. Sorry, wait, no.
No, you think she dies?
She dies.
You think she's gonna die?
Sorry, it's because she's so perfect.
Okay.
Is what I meant to say. She will die. I think it will be somewhat like I said about Gilly, a bit of a shock value moment.
Yeah.
I think Grey Worm will then go on some rampage against whoever killed him.
He dies. Yeah.
No, then he survives.
I'm starting to think maybe they both die. Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah,
saying she doesn't.
maybe.
But I'll stick with the list. I'll say she doesn't die.
Yeah.
Grey Worm's got to die, surely. Like his whole thing. He's a warrior. He's gonna be frontline.
Yeah.
And they've just started this lovely, love story between the two of them, which is so perfect and nice.
And then just smash it all down straight away.
Yeah, there's
nothing, no happiness.
They could be a death in episode 1 because they're kind of like a C tier character, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe a bit higher than that. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but like if they died early,
it would be a shame if they do die in the first episode. But at the same point, there's only 6 episodes, so it's kind of like saying the first and second episode.
Yeah, they need to space out the major character killings, don't they? You can't just have it all be in episode 5 or whatever.
Now that you say it, though, I feel like there will be a group death with a littering of 1 or 2 major characters plus several B and C tier characters.
Yeah,
I think that's a given almost.
Okay, let's jump to the Cleganes.
Mm-hmm.
So Sander Clegane the Hound and Gregor the Mountain, they're fighting each other.
Absolutely.
There's going to be a huge battle with those two.
Yeah.
I forgot they fought before.
Yeah.
In season 1.
Is it? It's not a flashback, is it?
No, it's when they're having the jousting.
Yeah.
And you see a first bit where Gregor Clegane the Mountain brutally kills his jousting goes through someone's neck.
Yeah.
And then he has another bit of jousting where he's beaten by the Knight of Flowers, Loris Tyrell.
Okay.
I think that's his name. And then he gets really angry and he chops his horse's head off.
Nice.
And then he's looking like he's going to kill the guy. And then the Hound jumps in and they have a little fight.
A little tiff.
And it's pretty cool. So that the repeat's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it won't be any. Yeah, we both think they die.
Yeah, I think both of them die.
Yeah.
I'd kind of like the Hound to get out of it, but he had his
He had a getting out.
He
of
had
it
his
moment.
death and his little peaceful bit.
And now I think the redemption is him doing something really good.
And I think he potentially dies saving Arya or Sansa.
I think that would naturally make sense.
That's the natural. So I think he kills the Mountain.
Or twist.
Yeah.
He rides off into the sunset with Brienne.
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Absolutely not. No,
I think
you're wrong.
they die. I think.
Do they kill each other?
I don't know because that's kind of already happened with the Mountain.
Yeah.
With Oberyn Martell.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the Mountain's kind of dead anyway. He's basically like a zombie monster. Would you think we see his helmet come off? We see what he looks like. 100%.
If it doesn't, I will stop watching the show.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But I'm really interested in when this happens because obviously, I think the Battle of Winterfell happens quite early, and I think obviously they probably lose it. And they're probably on the run.
Yeah, I think that'd be.
And then they're being chased south, maybe, and then maybe because I can't remember where the Hound is at the moment. I can't even remember where he is. Is he in King's Landing? I can't imagine he is. Has he gone with Jaime up north? I actually can't remember where the Hound is.
He's somewhere.
Was he there when they presented the White Walker? I can't remember, but I'm just trying to work out when this happens and realistically when this makes sense.
Okay. Well, let me.
I'll move on quickly because I think we're both saying both of them die.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out who the next character makes sense to go to. I think probably I want to talk next about Theon Greyjoy.
Yes.
We have both written down here that we think Theon Greyjoy is going to die.
Yeah, I agree.
I
still agree.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. His character has had literally everything stripped from him.
Yeah.
And he's been like a coward, and now I think he's going to get his heroic moment.
He'll have a redemption.
He'll get because his sister is still alive.
Yeah.
Captured by Euron Greyjoy.
Yeah.
I think is like his uncle or something.
Yeah.
The Greyjoy family is a bit mixed up and different from the books. It's really confusing. So I think he gets his heroic moment. He probably kills Euron, but then is killed somehow, saving his sister.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's
it will be something heroic, based on all the shit that he's gone through beforehand.
Yeah. I watching series 1 back, I really like his relationship with Robb Stark. It's a shame, obviously, and he kind of like turns his back on him when he dies and everything. Yeah, kind of horrible. But I think he gets his redemption. I think I think he dies heroically.
Yeah,
I think
it would be a perfectly kind of correct arc for him.
Yeah. Okay, next we'll talk about Jorah, and then I think we're kind of just into really top tier main characters. So Jorah, we both agree again. I think he dies.
Yeah,
I think like oh no, sorry, actually we've missed. We'll talk about Jorah. Then I've missed someone, but we go back to them. Jorah, what a great character.
Yeah,
I actually think I always underestimate him.
Well, he always just comes across as like kind of pathetic at times, like in terms of like just certain things he does, certain ways he acts and stuff like that. But he is great. Like you can understand everything that he's doing as well.
Yeah.
For the vast majority of it, I feel.
What I would love for him, because he's been such a cool character. He was actually everyone's kind of like touching point for, like Daenerys and the whole of when they're off in the east.
Yeah.
With the Dothraki. And I always forget there's a really cool bit where he fights one of the Dothraki. And in a couple of episodes before, they kind of hint at, he's discussing with this Dothraki warrior about the benefits and the drawbacks of fighting with no armor and a short sword versus with armor and a big sword.
Yeah.
And they're saying, but speed and quickness versus power and slowness, and it's such a cool fight because it lasts probably like 30 seconds, and he basically, the way he wins it is he lets this guy hit him with his sword, and it just gets caught in his armor, and then he literally just like cleaves this guy's face with his sword. It's really cool. I think the way that I would like his story to end is this is probably not going to happen, but I think it'd be awesome if he kills the ice dragon, if he's the one who kills the ice dragon to save
that
Daenerys,
would be nice.
but like dies doing it.
Yeah,
I think that's a cool ending for him.
Yeah, that's
I'm not sure that will happen, but I think that's a cool.
I'd be very happy with that.
I'd be super happy with that because I think really cool character.
Yeah, cool character, and someone who's obviously been important for a long time, and also been so linked with Daenerys for so long that it's almost like obviously with the dragons kind of being her babies and stuff like that. It would almost be a little bit, because he plays that such a weird kind of role of being in love with her almost, but also her basically like her dad type of thing. So it would be a nice little family-ish-esque type.
I think as well what would be super cool is if Jon later somehow gets a different weapon or something, and if because obviously, do you remember that Jon's sword is called Longclaw, and that used to be I can't remember the guy's name. The guy that used to be in charge of the Night's Watch. You remember him? Kind of larger guy. He's like betrayed by the Night's Watch and killed by them all.
Oh yes, yeah.
Sorry, and that's Jorah's dad.
Right.
And so Jorah gives Jon the sword Longclaw, but it should have gone to Jorah.
Right.
So I think that would be kind of cool if he maybe gets that
moment
or
with
something.
It.
And that would be kind of nice. I think that would be kind of nice. Not sure it will happen, but So yeah, Jorah. Really, I think for me, one of my most underrated characters there. Right, the one we skipped out was actually Bronn.
Yeah.
Bronn, I always go back and forth if I like Bronn or not, because he's kind of like, he is a cool character. There's a part in season 1 where Tyrion is on trial in the Eyrie, with the Moon Door, all that bit, and he demands trial by combat, and no one wants to fight for him, but then Bronn does because he promises him money, and Bronn obviously wins the fight, and he basically has the guy there. And in front of everyone, he just puts the sword like in the guy's neck, right down into him, and then he pushes him through the door. And Lisa Aaron says to him, "You fight with no honor." And his response is, he looks down through the hole and she goes, "No, he did."
Yeah.
like that and walks off. There's cool moments with him. I think he survives probably.
I think I said he dies.
Yeah.
Just because for me he's one of those kind of characters who.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually.
I would be happy for him to die to serve a purpose of some sort. Kind of, he like I don't mind if he dies. He's not someone who I desperately want to stay alive by the end. So therefore, I'm okay if he dies. I'm somewhat indifferent if he dies. But I think he will.
Yeah, I said that he survives, but now I can see the moment when I can kind of picture him dying, and it'd be quite funny, and he'll have some little funny.
There'll be some smirky comments.
I think he's quite a bit of a fan favourite, so I think people would quite like to see him get a nice ending somehow.
Yeah,
if there is a nice ending. All right, that leads us on. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, maybe like 9 characters. We'll go through. We'll try and do it a bit quicker, but these are the main characters in the show, I guess, really. And we'll start off with Bran.
Yeah,
Bran, 3-eyed raven.
Yeah, I've put down that he dies. I think that's more that I want him to die.
You don't, so you're not a huge fan of
No, I am. I think Bran is. I really don't like Bran.
I think you're right that he dies. I think his physical body as Bran
This is something which is interesting.
But I think the character survives in some way.
Yeah. Taking over something else.
Walking into something or something.
Yeah,
I think he survives probably. And I think he's kind of done, isn't he? Like his character.
Yeah.
I think his story's kind of done.
It's just been kind of floating on for a bit. I would be happy to see him die.
Speaking of characters whose story is done.
Yeah.
Sansa.
Yeah.
I've said she survives.
I've said she survives as well.
I think she is Lady of Winterfell by the end. I don't think. Her major storyline was always the thing with Littlefinger and all that stuff.
It's all resolved.
I think she'll be fine by the end. I don't think they kill her off.
She's shown enough resilience to kind of then not to die. Basically,
she's probably been like the worst treated of all of these characters. Obviously, apart from ones who've been brutally murdered. Obviously, so I think she kind of, out of most people, deserves that happy ending.
Yeah,
if there is one.
For sure.
Arya.
She dies.
Yeah, I think
she dies. People like her too much.
Yeah, I think
therefore it's good to kill them.
She's a little bit too. I don't know.
Too overpowered.
She is quite overpowered. I don't know. I can see that one either way. I've put down that she dies, but I could see her going either way.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those moments. It's in a similar fashion for a shock death, but I think this one wouldn't be just for being a shock death. There'll be some kind of meaning and emotion behind it. But I think I personally feel like it makes sense for her to die. Like,
she's done some pretty messed up
stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
She's had her great moments of, finally getting back at the what's their name? The Freys. Sorry, yeah. She had that moment of finally getting back at the Freys after what was that season? So 4 seasons after.
She's had her redemption.
She's had that. She's had that moment of she's always had a difficult relationship with Sansa, but they've had that moment where they came together and got the better of Littlefinger.
You've had all of those ending bits, kind of.
I think there could be a cool moment. Again, looking back at season 1, do you remember Syrio, who was her dance instructor?
Yeah.
And there's the moment where he kind of sacrifices himself so that she can escape from the Lannister guards. There could be a cool parallel with that, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I think that could be. Do we? And this is another sort of something. Do we see Jack and Hagar again? Because she kind of just ran away from them.
Yeah,
that feels like a bit of a loose end, potentially.
It could definitely come back in. Yeah.
All right, then I want to just now go right to the bottom of our list here. The Night King, the Night's King, the Night's King or the Night King. There is actually a difference somewhere in the book, so people will be angry with me for that, but I can't remember. The Night's King.
We'll go.
The leader of the White Walkers.
Yeah. I say he dies, and I think it's because Game of Thrones, when it started out, was not a juggernaut in terms of it as a TV show. The first series did super well, then it's obviously got bigger and bigger and bigger since then. At that point, because it wasn't an absolute juggernaut, there wasn't any expectations. Obviously, it was following a book as well, mostly.
Still unfinished, obviously.
Yeah, which was kind of going along with that. But you've always felt, as I've said earlier, that characters were in danger. They could always die. it's become such a juggernaut now that for the essentially, some could say not the main baddie, but the main baddie to not die, I just don't see how they could finish this without him being destroyed.
I think you're right. I agree. I think he dies. The question is, and I think this might be quite a... Either way they do this might be quite a surprise, I think. Because obviously I think most people are expecting him to probably last till episode 6.
Till the very end.
I think that story might be done a little bit earlier than people are expecting.
I think we've spoken about this before, which I like this idea of, because you tread the fine line of getting to a big climactic moment and then hobbling on for another ending. If it's done well, I think it can have new meaning and stuff, and I think ending on the big epic moment isn't always the best way to end something. I think there's the humanity side of it is much more important than destroying the destroyer of the world type of thing. So I would like to see that. I think I'd say
the question there really is, you could argue we've got two big bad guys.
Yeah.
Does the Night King die before Cersei does? That's the question. Does the Cersei problem get finished before the Night King?
I think it's nicer for the Night King to die first.
I think you're right.
Because
I don't think people are expecting that. I think
really?
I think the expectation is the other way around.
Because it punctuates more about how horrible a person Cersei is then. If the show considers her the main baddie, the absolute main baddie, that she is the last one to die, or the last big baddie to die, it punctuates her character more. Because realistically speaking, the Night King isn't really a character. He doesn't do anything other than lead an army, basically.
He's not. He's been in a handful of episodes as well.
Yeah. So having him be the big dread and conquering that, it shows that there's actually a bigger threat that's consisted throughout the whole show, and shown how much of a threat she is throughout the whole show, that I think it would punctuate it much better with her being the final problem. Yeah,
I think you're right. I think she lasts longer than we maybe expect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we both think Cersei's dying.
Yep. Yeah. I think she's dying. Absolutely.
Let's talk about her twin.
Yep. Jaime.
Yep,
I think he dies as well.
He has to die.
Yeah.
He's
gone on record. Too good a character.
I've gone on record. He's the best character in this show.
Yeah, I can see that.
I 100% think that is true. He is going the opposite way. He's going north. Cersei's promised soldiers to help fight the White Walkers. She's lying. He couldn't believe that she'd lie about that, and he's gone. Yeah. What a huge turnaround in a character from season 1.
Yeah.
Who was happy to slaughter, like Ned Stark's men in the streets of King's Landing. There's a lot of stuff that I forgot season 1. He would have killed Ned then as well if someone ended the fight before he could.
Yeah.
And someone who obviously, the end of the first episode, that huge cliffhanger, opposite of a cliffhanger, I guess, where he pushes Bran out of that tower. I think he dies, and he's gonna have a great death. His is the love story with Brienne. That's Brienne is in love with Jaime. That's the. I think he could die saving her. Mm-hmm. I still think he kills Cersei. Probably. I think that's the best ending for that. So the only people that I want to see kill Cersei are Jaime or Arya Stark. They're the only two people that I would want to see kill her.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's too.
It's a bit heroic. Of a letdown. It's a bit of a letdown if anyone else kills her. I think. And also, I've said this so many times before, but Jaime in the throne room kills Cersei. So the White Walkers are dealt with.
Yeah.
They march south to take on Cersei. He walks in. She threatens to destroy the city. He kills her.
Yeah.
And then he dies somehow, because that's exactly what happened with Mad King.
I was about to say
it's
that.
Exactly the same thing, and I think that's it
reflects it.
It happens again. I think that 100% happens.
But then this time, do we have the thing of someone coming in and seeing it and actually not calling them out, calling him Kingslayer and all of that, understanding what they did?
Maybe. I don't know if it needs it, because I think as well it's more about him and himself having that, because good point. So I think that happens. It's just set up it's just set up that way.
Yeah.
I guess if it doesn't happen, then it's almost subverting expectations, which is fine. I'm happy for it to do that, but I think that's what happens. Yeah. Which
there's a weird this series has such a weird balance of you wanting things to happen in a certain way, but still wanting to be surprised, and it's that balancing act that I think naturally we will get points where we feel satisfied in things going how you would naturally expect it to go, and then I'm hoping we still get those surprises and those moments that we're like, what?
So we've got. I just realised we missed out Davos earlier, and I'm really sorry because I do love Davos. We've both said that he survives, so I just wanted to put that in there before, because obviously
Davos survives.
Davos survives. Love
He's
him.
fine.
What a great character.
Yeah.
Last we've got probably the 3 main characters in the show, all on the same team, all together currently, all present at the epic boat sex scene at the end of season 7.
Yeah.
So I don't know where do we start here? I think
we start with Tyrion. Tyrion, because it makes sense to.
So we've both said the same thing here, and I kind of don't want this to be true. But
he dies. He definitely dies. He definitely dies.
Oh, it sucks, doesn't it?
He is whilst there's been like characters in here which are like fan favorites and stuff like that. He is the number 1 fan favorite.
Yeah.
And that's why in this instance I want him to die, because I want to feel emotionally drained from his death.
His death will be the biggest gut punch of anyone in the show.
Yeah.
Easily. I mean, the Red Wedding was obviously horrendous and stuff, but and Ned.
Because we've
seen, the fact that we
had 8 series worth,
8 seasons of him.
Yeah.
And because he, because you start off in season 1 and you're like, oh, Tyrion, he's really funny. The first time you see Tyrion, do you remember how he's introduced?
Is he having sex?
Yeah, he's in the brothel in Winterfell, and Jaime walks in, and Tyrion's there, having oral sex done to him while drinking wine. Yeah, like that just sums him up. Obviously, he's got a bit more serious.
Yeah, where he's got to now, kind of and stuff.
But he's part of the Lannister. He's a Lannister.
Yeah, you
hate the Lannisters for the first 3 seasons. You love him, but you're still conflicted because he's part of that family and helping them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think
But it shows how much more of a complex person he is.
Yeah.
In that he is that, but he's done so much more than just be a goodie or a baddie. He straddles that perfect line of being bad, but you still like him whilst doing good things, and then still doing bad things. And
the question then is,
how does he die?
Because the biggest gut punch would be Cersei doing it.
That would be suck.
Horrible. That would be horrible.
And I'm not sure whether I mean suck as in I don't like it, or it would be sad. Kind of. I'm not sure. I'm undecided. I don't think he dies in battle.
No.
He dies.
I would hate Cersei to kill him, but I kind of have this feeling.
Yeah, it's that.
Because that's what she wants. That she wants that so badly.
Does she kill him and then Jaime kill her?
Yeah.
In almost not the same moment, or maybe the same moment.
Could be. I mean, Tyrion's with the goodies, so they'd march, and Jaime's going to be with them, so they'd
all
together.
Come back together. And then they come in, Cersei kills him.
I don't know. I feel like, because otherwise, how does he die if it's not by like a White Walker or the Night's King, or no one else is really out to kill him, are they?
No, and he doesn't have an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
What's the word?
You mean like he doesn't have another?
Yeah. He's not. He's got another flex on something.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he. To be honest,
dies.
I think my bet is he dies.
Yeah.
I could see it go either way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 2 more.
Last 2.
Let's talk about Jon first, because we're both agreed. We're both agreed he survives. Now, the reason I think he survives is purely from a storytelling point of view. We have seen him die as a cliffhanger to a season. We have seen him die. I think storytelling wise, it doesn't make sense for us to have that build up and see him die again.
Yeah. What was the point of bringing him back?
Yeah.
if he's going to die again.
The Battle of the Bastards was great because the numbers were stacked against him so much.
Yeah.
But I never really thought he was going to die in that. Which
Again,
but I was still thoroughly entertained by it, which shows how good the episode was. But I never really thought he was going to die.
Yeah.
The reason that was so great was, how it goes to the huge battle and then he goes back into Winterfell and you remember Ramsay's got the bow and arrow and he throws his sword down and he just picks up a shield.
Yes.
And he goes through and just beats him within an inch of his life. That's such a great moment. But
yeah.
I think Jon survives.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially on the throne.
Yeah.
Potentially on the throne.
Yeah, there's again, not to harper on with this, but there's expectations with it being a juggernaut of a show and things like that. I think I might contradict myself at points here, but there are expectations that I was about to say have to be met. I'm not sure if that's right actually, but he just seems like too much to die.
Yeah.
Because outside of when you want to look at like really interesting characters in the show, I think for 90% of people that watch the show, he and Dany are the show.
Yeah.
Basically, it's all about them. They are the main thing. So yeah, I don't think he dies.
Yeah, I agree. I think seeing him die again would just be. I don't know. I mean, if they do it well, yeah, I think of course he could die.
Yeah.
But I don't think he does. My bet is he doesn't. All right, so Daenerys.
Yeah.
Targaryen. Go on.
So I say she lives, and I do think they have a happy ending together.
Jon and Daenerys.
Yeah. Even though, obviously they'll find out about.
They'll find out. Do you think so?
I think they'll find out about their relation. And they will cast that aside
like
in the name of love,
his aunt.
which is fine, not at all. But I think they'll work out a way to be fine with it, and I think they'll rule together.
Okay, I think she dies.
Okay,
2 reasons I think she dies.
And that's the end of the episode. Done.
Yeah.
She dies.
I think the first reason, and people who know the books and all the different sort of prophecies and things like that are hinted at, might see why she might die based on those.
Yeah.
I don't want to say any more in case it is spoilery, in case it becomes spoilery. I also think the show has been set up since her brother dies, since Khal Drogo kills her brother. The whole show is set up for her to come and win, and
yeah,
she's been like I guess she's been the favourite since she got the army and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they change the expectations of what we think is going to happen with.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people think she is the one that's going to do it.
Yeah, she's definitely been set up as a somewhat invincible character.
Yeah. I think she dies. What's interesting though is that this series, although it's only 6 episodes, it must have a little time gap now, or at least take place over a period of 9 months. Because Daenerys is 100% pregnant.
Yeah.
She is 100% pregnant with Jon Snow's baby.
She didn't take the pill that day.
After bait sex, although she's supposed to be sterile.
Right.
And he's been brought back from the dead, so who knows what was going on with his sperm.
Yeah, what his biology is.
But she is pregnant. Gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you agree? Do you think she's pregnant?
I hadn't actually considered it for some
Really?
reason. I hadn't considered it at all. But I now you say that,
I think she's totally pregnant. Yeah.
Does she give birth then?
I think
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. And I think
it's a long period for it to be set over.
Yeah.
Although time in this show,
I think there could be, time and journey time is very
questionable.
So that's what we think then. I guess that's basically us putting out there who you think dies, who survives.
Yeah.
And we've got a record of it. So basically, as we go forward with this podcast and as Game of Thrones goes on the last season, we will we'll sort of like just jump back in, just give us like 10 minutes of an episode to have a look and see if we were right, if we were wrong,
yeah,
and how wildly wrong our theories were. just before we finish up here, because I think we're almost at the end.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about that one theory that I mentioned this
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. Let's have a chat about some theories.
Part of the reason I think Daenerys is 100% pregnant.
Yeah.
Is because I think the Night's King,
Mm-hmm.
and this I may sound very stupid in a few weeks' time. I think the Night's King needs a baby.
Is that what he's looking for specifically?
I think he's looking for a baby.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Why? Yeah. Tell me why.
So I think in order for him to make a new Night's King, someone like him rather than just a White Walker, I think they have to be a baby when he makes them.
Okay.
You will remember the first time we saw the Night's King?
Will I?
When a bunch of White Walkers bring a baby to him.
Oh,
and it's the end of an episode.
Like in there's like pillars around it with like a little stone
and
thing.
he kind of touches the baby and the baby's eyes go blue.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
Like, I think that's the ending of an episode, isn't it? I think he needs a baby.
Didn't he get one then?
So he had one then, but I think this is the point.
Mm-hmm.
I think the blood of the baby has to be Targaryen or Stark. Because right now, this is where it gets weird.
Yeah. Okay, I'm still with you.
And you'll remember early on in this episode, I talked about Gilly's baby.
Yeah.
Because do you remember Craster, who is where she was from? He was sacrificing his babies to the White Walkers so that he would survive. Why? What on earth does that mean? Why?
Yeah.
The reason I think is because they need babies of that blood. Now, I think there's something that Craster is old Stark blood or Targaryen or something like that.
Okay.
I maybe making that up. I remember watching some 40-minute long conspiracy theory video on Game of Thrones somewhere which mentioned it. And I think part of so if you look at that, why is he crashing through the wall now?
Yeah.
Why has he not done it before?
Yeah.
Why did he let Jon Snow go at Hardhome?
Yeah.
I think he can somehow, like how Bran can, I think he can somehow see in the future a little bit.
And he knows the importance of Jon and that Jon needs
I think
to then
he knows the importance of Jon's blood because Jon is Stark and Targaryen.
So he sees the double importance.
He sees the double importance of Jon, and he sees that Jon is going to have a baby that he needs.
Yeah.
So I think
he lets him go.
He needs that baby. I think Gilly's important because her baby is kind of like a backup.
Yeah.
Because it's got the right blood. It's got Craster's blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bit of a weird theory that.
Okay.
I
like it.
I think that could
it.
be, and I think that's the sort of thing that Sam might find out about. I think we might have there might be an episode where there's a huge battle scene, something epic happens, and then that final moment of the episode might be Sam reading something, finding out that, wait, Craster was Stark or Targaryen blood, and he's giving his babies to him, and then he looks at Gilly with the baby and is like, oh God, crap.
Here we go. Yeah.
Like it could even be, there's a huge battle at Winterfell where the White Walkers attack, but the Night's King just flies straight over, and goes straight for that baby or something. That could be a thing.
Everything.
So, having said that, might be totally wrong.
True. I've realised there was one other character that we didn't talk
someone.
about. We did miss someone.
Oh, go on then.
Someone's. What happens to the dragons?
Oh yeah, good point. What happens to them? I can see them all dying.
Yeah, I think one survives.
You think one survives?
I'm going to go if one survives. Obviously one of her two.
The real one, not the ice one.
Yeah.
Do you think the ice one is? So I would love Jorah, like we said. I'd love Jorah to kill the ice one. But do you think there's a big epic dragon battle?
Oh it's got to be dragon on dragon battle. And
then both of them, one of them's going to fire out ice and one of them's going to fire out fire, and it's going to like
an anime kind of scene, kind of like someone come flying in. I would love to see a dragon battle along with someone on the back of a dragon in that battle.
Oh yeah,
perfect.
Well, Night's King's gonna be flying the ice.
Of course, yeah.
And then like Daenerys will be flying one.
Yeah.
Could Jon fly one?
Ooh,
there was a little bit in that
Game of
Thrones trailer. So we've gone through the characters.
Yeah.
We've talked about what we're worried about, maybe what we're looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned the baby theory. Is there anything else you want to say about Game of Thrones season 8?
I don't think so, because I just hope it does enough of getting back to feeling dangerous, feeling fresh. People are dying who we don't expect to die, or at least you wouldn't normally think would die. I hope it gets back to that feeling. I think it will.
I think
they have to.
I think we're gonna have
they have to.
really early major day.
Yeah, which would be great. It would great. It would really kind of tag you along with it. But I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. And I think as you said kind of at the beginning, when we do more of these episodes of Realize, we will be talking mainly about films, and other films will probably be the mainstay. We'll be talking about TV shows as well, and when we get around to them, we'll try and do like a series of films or one-offs, but we will try and bring in Game of Thrones when possible.
Yeah, and obviously it's not long for the world.
Not long to go now.
So as we mentioned, then we're going to be looking at movies from now on. Next time, we will obviously jump back into Game of Thrones maybe halfway through. Mm-hmm. But the first series of films we're actually going to look at is The Matrix.
Yeah, which I'm super intrigued to see how, first of all, the first one hangs up, and then whether the second and third I've gained a new appreciation for them, or whether they're still not so great.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. I've not seen... I think the second and third one I've only seen once.
Yeah. Oh, great. Okay.
I maybe have seen The Matrix 1 only once, I think, maybe.
Wow.
So, and that came out in 1999, so very long time ago. Amazing. So I think we're there. Next week, as we said, The Matrix. We'll have a little dip back into Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back with you in 2 weeks for more Real Eyes.
See you soon.